Okay.
That was essentially Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool there saying that he wears the badge with pride of being declared a persona non grata from the United States of America.
This member of the ANC has been traveling more than 32 hours, but he is generous enough to say he can give at least 3 questions. Can we please accept this proposition? If I'm to the one to
Chair.
I'm the chair, by the way. Okay, Masego will be 1. Don't rush. Okay, Masego will be 1. Class number 2. Koge number 3. I don't know your names.
Ambassador Rasool, Samkela Masego from the SABC. Have you compiled that particular report to President Ramaphosa? Will you be giving him that report when you go to Pretoria tomorrow? And then lastly, Mr. Ambassador, what are the true reflections of what is happening in the United States of America, particularly with the Republicans at this point in time? They are being booed, a number of their senators.
No, I'm going to forget. Let me just do that very quickly. The question is, am I ready with my report for the President? And secondly, what is the true reflection of what is happening in the United States? The first thing is that we have started to write that report last week. We will finalize it and we will be ready for the President with that report. On the second question, it is too soon. Sometimes you must get some distance between a moment designed to humiliate you and the anger that could come from it, and then expressing yourself. Give me a week or 2 of a vow of silence on that until I can finally make a distance between my former role in Washington and my new role as a private citizen.
Mr. Rasool, Junior Kumalo from Newsroom Africa. We were told that you were trying to basically get an audience for South Africa with the U.S. Administration under Mr. Trump, but it seemed like there were challenges. Can you speak to us about that? Because we saw some organizations like your AfriForum, your Solidarity, going there and easily getting access to that administration.
The question is about whether we sought audiences with the administration and whether we did not get that, whereas AfriForum and others got it. I want to say that we were in Washington when not many positions were filled. There is no section for Africa in State Department, and they're only beginning to put it in place in the White House. But part of the design of the PNG, or the persona non grata, was to make sure that the access we got would not be used because there is a different agenda that wants to prioritize white suffering over black needs in South Africa.
Thank you very much for your time, Ambassador Usipa Mandla from ENCA. In hindsight, do you stand by your remarks? But also number 2, diplomacy clearly has failed, or the Trump administration doesn't want to engage with South Africa. Do you think genuinely there is hope to revive these relations that are at an all-time low? Number 3, will you be playing your role in political affairs in the Western Cape now?
The first question was?
The first question was, do you stand by your remarks?
Do I stand by my remarks? My remarks was on the Mistra Mapungubwe Forum, speaking to South African intelligentsia, intellectuals, political leaders and others, to alert them to a changed condition in the United States, that the old way of doing business with the US was not going to work, and that unless we change our way of speaking to the US and recognizing what is the US, it is not the US of Obama, it is not the US of Clinton, it is a different US, and therefore our language must change, not only to transactionality, but also a language that can penetrate a group that has clearly identified a fringe white community in South Africa as their constituency, surrounded by a white diaspora in the White House. That is what we are up against. And so there's nothing that I will say there that I would not say elsewhere. And so I would stand by my analysis, because we were analyzing a political phenomenon, not a personality, not a nation, and not even a government. And so I stand by that. The second thing is, has diplomacy failed? in a very strange way. The fact that what I said caught the attention of the President and the Secretary of State and moved them enough to declare me persona non grata says that the message went to the highest office in the United States of America, that they were stung by our characterization and they were not happy with it. And so the diplomacy of Ubuntu has certainly worked because we bore witness to the values of our society. And the third question was, will I play a role? Again, it is too early to make decisions of that nature. You must first recover from your previous job before you look for another job. We will think about it, we will pray on it, and we will consult on it, and then we will decide what to do next. Thank you very much.
Essentially, Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool saying that he stands by his words in the United States of America. He will essentially now be leaving with the family and he will be going home. He has asked for about a week to recover and not to engage in any forms of politics at this point in time. He did receive that hero's welcome back home, giving that particular message, that message of Ubuntu diplomacy that he spoke about at the Mapubugo Mistra engagement struck and stung the highest office in the United States of America. It did get to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. It did get to the President of America, Donald Trump, and saying that he was essentially communicating a message to the intelligentsia, to the professionals within the country, to the politicians, to the unionists, that the game has changed in the United States of America. They can no longer engage White House in the business as usual methods that they used to engage the United States of America, and that it had to change, and that now President Ramaphosa, he hopes that he can install a new ambassador that will not abandon the South African values, that will not abandon the people of Palestine that are continuing to face those bombings from the Israeli government.
You know, what a busy 30 minutes or so. Thank you so much for bringing us all of that and more, as well as Vanessa Bona, who's our reporter, who's also watching that story alongside Samgele there.